Okay, so I guess I'm live here. We had to kind of make the little live. That was awkward. Don't worry, we weren't live. We were totally live during that. So, okay, so this is my first Q&A. I'm Joey Evans, and we're doing a live Q&A here. And so I guess this is my first Q&A, right? So when Tom left, he left for the week, so he's like, hey, everyone's doing a Q&A. So I'm like, okay, cool. Have fun with your Q&A, guys. And he's like, no, you're doing one too. I'm like, this is fantastic. So this is me just answering questions, and I see a lot of the questions people are asked, and I'm like, I don't really know how I answer most of those things. But so pretty much, ask your questions in here. I'll answer them. No like secrets of magic questions, you muggles. I can't really go into that. Can't go into the depths of magic. This is Dice Tower random questions. So I guess while you guys start to find this, let's talk about, I guess, what I did this weekend. This weekend, we do movie nights. We just started watching The Old Mummy with Brandon Fraser. And I forgot that movie actually holds up. It's a good movie. And I remember thinking it was very cheesy at the time, but Hollywood recently has shown me what cheese is. So I went back to the old Brandon Fraser thing. I'm like, you know what? This was good. It had some good moments. I'm excited to see the next one, and I'm excited to skip the Scorpion King and really dive into that. We're kind of on an 80s and 90s kick in my house. So really going through those, we watched all the Back to the Futures, and those again are great. I mean, just one feed to the next one, then the next one. So that's pretty much what we do at night. We have a 7-year-old, so we'll watch part of a movie one night and finish it up the next night. And we're also one of those terrible families that eats on the couch. So I don't know if you guys eat on the couch or a table. I'm curious to see how many people actually eat, because that's very more divisive than I thought it was, right? Like, do you eat on the couch? Not on the couch, sitting at the couch watching TV, or do you go to a dining room table, have like that Blue Bloods style of dinner? So I actually asked it out there at the office, and it's very divisive on where people eat. I mean, people are very like in their camp, like, no, I will eat at the table, or I will eat at the couch, or whatever. So, okay, so I guess I should stop talking about movies that you guys didn't even ask about, didn't even care about. We start going through this and look through some questions. Keep it in mind, everyone has left me here. They're like, here you go, you're good, and they've walked out of the room. So this is me figuring this out by myself. So let us see. We will start at the top, and I will slowly go through, and they're like, just choose the questions you want to ask. You don't have to answer all of them. I'm like, wait, why? What am I going to be asked? The IRS on there? They'll be like, hey, since we caught you here. Not that I have anything, you know, everything's good. Let's see here. Here. I like this one. We're Dave, we're see if, hey, I can add it to broadcast. Here we go. Who's your favorite chatter, and why is it definitely not Joey Evans? It's funny, I have heard about him. He shows up in chats, which is really weird. I do think he's very clever. The things he says, I mean, he's just got, he must have an inside source. It's brilliant, you know, what he comes up with and the questions he asks. I mean, I really think the guy's like a Mensa member, and he just gets on there while he's at his meetings and stuff. Questions about Hogwarts. And it's funny how Harry Potter is one of those things that magicians immediately go to Harry Potter. And I would like to tell you that as magicians, we don't like Harry Potter. Spoiler alert, we really like Harry Potter. Trying to get my daughter into the movies, and she's not. It takes her a while to actually get into those, which makes me very, very sad. So let's see here. All right, that was this one. What is your most impressive magic trick? Have you tried to make Camilla disappear? Oh, I have not, because she scares me. Oh, now Camilla, actually, our desk, when you see the office, it's actually, our desk is like right next to each other. And she will not disappear. She will kick my chair every time she walks by, intentionally. I really think that's what it is. Let's see here. I see Is Mike Hel safe to meet? Yes, interesting. And here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about the chat. This is interesting. I didn't realize until working in the studio either, because like a lot of these chat people are like, oh, you know, I can't wait to meet the Dice Tower people, you know, at conventions or whatever. And honestly, I love that too. I like meeting the people out there. But for us here at the studio, it's pretty cool too to actually meet people in real life that we've seen on the chat during these live things. You know, like I remember when I met Mike Hel, and we do this thing called the Big Game Bash in Fort Myers, and it's really fun. You get everyone's invited, so we do it every couple months. But usually a couple hundred people. But Mike came down, and I remember getting a picture of him and us together and sending it to the studio, and people were like, oh, you met Mike Hel? You know, so it's really cool that it works both ways, because we really feel like it's like a community here. When we see all these chats, we see the same people every day and recognize the names, see the pictures, and it's really cool that when we actually have a chance to run into you, whether it's at a convention or in the wild sort of thing. Not in the wild, that wouldn't really happen. I don't really go outside much. That'll be more Camilla does the hiking thing. Yeah, speaking of not going outside much, I remember I bought a GoPro camera for my magic show. If you guys are coming to East, you'll see how I use it. But I use it for like showing up on cards, like so it can be projected to the screen. And I'm buying it at this place that sells GoPros. And he's selling me, I'm just getting it. He's like, okay, so this is like rugged. He's like, you can take it outside, you know, wind, you can drop it. He goes, you can rock climb with it, you can kayak with it. And I'm like, listen, man, the only time this camera is going to be outside is between here and the car. You know, that's pretty much, yeah, I live inside for a reason. So, okay, so I kind of went off on a tangent. Now I see how people get behind on their questions. Let's see here. Reading through. How many kids do you have? I actually have 2 kids. Let me put the add to broadcast here. DJ asks, how many kids do you have? I know of Julia only. We have 2 kids. We have one older daughter, Sierra. She is actually married to a guy from the Navy, and she lives in Jacksonville. She doesn't come home much. I think Juliet is like always there, so we always put pictures of her on Facebook and talk about her. She's 7, and my older daughter is up in Jacksonville. She works at home, and she actually plays extras in some movies and stuff, and just as fun while her husband's being deployed. And she actually sent me a picture of the guys from Cobra Kai. She was actually an extra on Cobra Kai, and she got a picture of some of the people from Cobra Kai, Johnny, whatever his name is, and they sent me a selfie together. I'm like, this is awesome. She's like, Dad, lower your expectations. She goes, it's some big karate tournament, and I was paid $50 to stand in the background. But she's doing it while her husband's away. So that's anyway. So we have the 2 daughters, Juliet and Sierra. So no boys. So I don't really know how boys work. I'm just a girl dad. And I love it. I love it. I'm learning more about dresses and braiding hair. Not good at it. When I braid Juliet's hair, people will rebraid it later and just say, your dad tries. He really does. Okay, let's see here. People talk about Back to the Future. Oh, yes. Dana asks, when are you planning on introducing your daughter to the original Evil Dead series? Okay, I am not obviously going to do that. But I think that I did not know that some of the movies I do show her, people are like, what? You know, because I'll get some judgment calls here at the studio, and I'm like, hey, I'll bring Juliet to that movie night. And they're like, okay, so Evil Dead, not on there. And the Die Hard we watch is edited, just FYI. Emery, Joey Evans eats on the couch just like me. Thank you. I'm not an animal. You know, I do have a plate when I eat on the couch. Now, I mean, it does get everywhere, and eventually we'll get new couches. When we get new couches, that's when that might end. So people talk about couches for eating, tables for gaming. That is very true. We got a gaming table, and it's got those, like, you know, we had it made, but it's got the well, you know, for everything, and then you put the toppers on top so you can eat on top, because that was very important to me. I want to make sure I eat there. I really never put the tops on it unless I'm playing a roll and write, and I need that extra space to actually write on. Which is funny how that, when I went to buy a table, I'm like, I have to have it. You know, this has to be a multi-purpose table. It's just a gaming table. I mean, I'm glad I have it, because then I can look less weird when I set it up and we have people come over. But let's be honest, I have very few non-gamers that come to my house. Oh, do you have a favorite scary movie? I almost want to say that in the ghost face voice. Do you like scary movies? Wow. I have a lot of favorite scary movies. I have some that I want to see. Everybody says like Hereditary and Midsommar are really good. People talk about those. I actually had the lady who cuts my hair. She's like, saw Midsommar recently. I like things that are more psychological. There's something called The Autopsy of Jane Doe, that it's like a kind of a more low budget type thing, but it's very scary. I remember it's like probably 9 actors in it, and it's like a morgue, and this body comes in, and middle of the night, and weird things start happening. So that one is probably my favorite recently. I of course like all the older movies, the old Universal horror style things, but Autopsy of Jane Doe is really good, and I think I like the horror genre just because it just doesn't scare me so much. I really enjoy the time they put into those. All right, so here we go. Oh, we got a board game question here. All right. Play Ark Nova on the moon or Welcome to the Moon at a zoo? Huh. Okay. All right. You know what? I would say Ark Nova on the moon. I would do Ark Nova. Several reasons. One, I would want to go to the moon. And two, the box would be a lot lighter on the moon because all those cards would weigh a lot less and it'd be a lot easier to play there on the moon. So yeah, I would do that. And contrary to popular belief, I actually do like Ark Nova. I just like it only at 2 or 3 players, not at the 14 that Tom likes to play it at or whatever. Not 14, but seems like it. Let's see here. Joey Overlord. Oh, here we go. This is interesting right here. Did you play Dungeons and Dragons as a kid? All right, this is interesting. No, I did not. And that's where I kind of get this, I kind of get sad when people talk about like, I remember D&D, or we have people like that played D&D with us and back in Fort Myers, and he'll have these minis that he had as a kid, you know, they're made out of pewter, and he's painted them now as an adult. And I'm like, man, I didn't have that as a kid because I'm a PK, a pastor's kid. So my dad was obviously a pastor, is what that means. But it was like at that point, Tom Hanks' movie had come out and none of us were allowed to play it, right? Megs of the Monsters or whatever. So it was very bad. But for some reason, my father would let me play Hero Quest. So I don't really, looking back, I'm not really sure why I could do that, but Hero Quest was allowed in my house, but D&D was not. D&D was like far, out, and then you were not allowed to do that. And then like later I learned that people were like, oh, we'd still play. I'm like, but your parents said you couldn't. Like, well, we just didn't listen. I'm like, that was an option? I did not, just, man, my life would have opened up if I knew that was an option. But no, I didn't play D&D as a kid. Really wish I would have. I'd be a lot better at it now because I think it'd be something that right up my alley. And I find it intriguing. Like a lot of these things on YouTube, I followed some of these D&D groups that just stay together. I mean, really, it's like gaming groups. That it's not about the game itself. It's about the camaraderie that kind of forms, you know, as you grow up and grow older. You don't really grow apart. You have that kind of common bond. It's like that movie, everything's a movie for me, like the movie Tag. Did you ever watch the movie Tag? It sounds like a very stupid premise. It's about these college guys that just play tag, and it's a true story, and it's a heartwarming movie about how this game of tag has kept them all together. But anyway, it goes back to D&D, so that's kind of, I really wish I would have had that as a kid, but Hero Quest kind of filled the gap a little bit. Here we go. Oh, my microphone fell. There we go. Just did that on the microphone. Don't hate me. Let's see here. Brian, you've been present way more in the past few months. Does this mean you are becoming full-time? Been awesome seeing you more. Definitely appear way more comfortable as well. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, no, actually, technically, I guess I'm still part-time. I'm usually here several days a week. There are some weeks I'm here all the time. And Tom is great about like working around my, working around the schedule because I still do magic on the weekends, really. So I can be here. There are days I'm here pretty much every day of the week. There are other days I'm here 3 days, 4 days, whatever. Whenever they need me, I'm here. I live really close. So I come as much as I can, and I love being a part of it. As far as being more comfortable, it's funny because like my background is in performing. But it's different. Several things are different. Obviously, working in a studio, talking to a camera is different than a live audience. And I think COVID kind of helped me doing those virtual shows as far as that. But also, when I came in here, I was one out of a team, so you didn't want to kind of overexpress yourself because you kind of had to find in where you kind of fit into everything because they already had like a natural cadence, like they kind of rolled well together, the camaraderie and things like that. So I think it took me a while to just see where I fit in organically rather than just kind of shove my way in here and be like, I'm here, I'm do magic. So it's so slowly I'm kind of feeling more comfortable. I mean, first of all, everyone here is great anyway, but it's just trying to figure out where I kind of blend up on screen. So I'm glad, and Brian, that means a lot that actually it's working out, that I'm trying to kind of find more of my niche here at the studio, which is great. All right, this is the awkward part where I'm like not looking at the camera, I'm looking over here. I'm not ignoring you guys, I'm actually looking at you guys. You guys just aren't here, you're here. You feel like you're here, but you're here. Not so here or here, but more through here. It's a Tommy Boy quote. Great movie, should have won an Oscar. Let's see here. Ooh. This is interesting. What 3 places would you love to go and play a game set in that area? Huh. This is interesting. Honestly, I'm not very creative as far as that goes. I would probably ideally play it at home. I'm a very boring person when I play a game. Like, I will not play a game outside. Sometimes at the studio we have game days and people are like playing on the porch. They're like, it's a beautiful day outside. Let's go out there and play a game. I'm like, you know what though? Pretty nice day in here. Not raining in here. Kind of a solid 72. I would say 74, but Camille turns it down. Really cold. Seriously. We had penguins leave because they're like, this is stupid how cold it is here. Penguins are like, I'm out. Rather brave it in Miami. All right, let's see here. Wow, am I really far behind? Yeah, all right, see here. All right, top 3 magician acts today. Oh, it's different. I like, really today, magicians kind of come together at things called the illusionists and stuff. I don't know. I still like Blaine. I like Justin Willman. Used to be Just Incredible. So, yeah, and a lot of people you probably haven't heard of, like David Williamson. I think he's really funny. Bill Abbott, different guys like that. But as far as TV, there needs to be another big rise of a good TV magician. I still like Copperfield. I know he's older. He was supposed to make the moon disappear. You guys hear about that? Never did. Maybe that's what the eclipse was. Maybe that was all him. Chrissy asked a question. How did you meet your wife? My wife's been on the channel before, Alex. She's Australian, and very interesting how we met. We did a podcast together for a while for entertainers. I, of course, was a magician here, and she had a TV show in Australia. And we did a podcast together. And so we knew our voices and stuff. We'd kind of talk online and things like that, knew what we looked like, never actually met. But there was a convention in Indiana, at Indiana Wesleyan, that we were both invited to lecture at. She was lecturing on her TV show, and I was lecturing on magic and stuff. So we did a performance together, because she was also a performer. So we did a stage show together. So we did the stage show that night, and during that week, we hung out all the time, and really he was love at first sight. No, it was like one of those things that really clicked, but also clicked in the back of our minds, like, this is not going to work. I mean, she lives literally on the other side of the planet. So afterwards, we kind of left, but then stayed together. I decided just to pick up shows in Australia. So I did some shows over there in Sydney and got to meet her. We kind of... Yep, that's it. So that's how we met there. And our TV show, she kind of walked away from that, and we talked about moving to Australia, but over here just seemed to logistically make a bit more sense. Let's see here. Sean Stewart asked us, should you have a butterfly game? Is there one for her? There are several butterfly games that I have not played them. If you don't know, Juliet was actually, she raises monarchs, and she used to raise monarchs. She heard that there were only like 25,000 monarchs, and ended up that she started raising them in her backyard and went up and raised about 2,000 monarchs back there. And before the hurricane took that thing away, we had like the news had come out, interviewed her, which was pretty cute, interviewed like a 5-year-old. But she was just, you'd walk outside and like gnats, there would be monarchs everywhere, and they just come and land on her. So she is monstrously into monarchs, and we're kind of doing that again after Hurricane Ian kind of took our butterfly garden away. We're finally going back. All right, let's see here. All right, talk about Camilla. All right, Dave, that's a good one. Do you play practical jokes on each other at the office? Yes, and I will think about which one. It's yes, yes, we do. Yes, and it's pretty funny. Yeah, I like that. All right, I will think of some good ones for that. Yeah, oh, Big Game Bash Live. Yeah, that is the game day we have over there in Fort Myers. Everyone, it's great to come over there and do it. Wendy, big red flag if Joey likes it. This is true. This is true. Video and sound are not aligned for me. I hope that's just you. Let me make sure. Okay. Okay, there we go. Making sure if that's still a problem, hopefully Chris or Wendy come in here and let me know, because I don't know how to fix it. All right, let's see here. All right, looking through, everybody saying, hey. Seriously, it's great to see all you guys here. Yeah, Kabuki Kid, YouTube did not notify me. It's pretty funny because Chris is like the wizard, you know, Wizard of Oz, when you're like looking at the Great Oz, and then Chris is behind the curtain, you know. So he's like, he showed me how to do all this. He goes, okay, so you click on it and go live. You're not there. I'll be right back. So he went in there and did his little wizard stuff and made it show up, and now I'm here. So I wasn't, YouTube didn't notify me, so people might come in later. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Joey was curious if you had any animals or random holes in your backyard and how you got rid of the nuisance. Yes, it's funny how Josh, it was good to meet Josh, by the way, at the Big Game Bash too. Yeah, it was funny how I did bring this up. Had a little hole in my backyard. Again, going back to what I said before, not great outside. Saw a hole in my backyard, and I thought, so didn't know what lived in it. So as any sleuth would do, I took a picture of it and put it on Facebook, and people then told me what kind of snake or animal it could be. So I just avoided the hole, right? I walked my little dog, so I got like a little Paris Hilton style dog, and we avoided the hole. Then it hit me that, you know what? I'm a man. I'm not going to avoid this hole forever. I'm going to take care of whatever's in that. So I did as any man would do. I grabbed a broom and I stood about 10 feet away, and I jabbed that broom handle into that hole over and over to finally kill whatever's in it, or make it leave and find a different hole, right? And then I immediately dropped the broom and ran back inside. I went back the next day, confident that it was dead, and found out that I now have a broken pop-up sprinkler. So that happened, and I did share that story a while back, and that's fun. So again, I'm not really allowed outside a lot. Here we go. Okay, so is there a lag if he tries to fix it? Oh, is there a lag? So is my voice like off? That's weird. All right. Here we go. All right, Mike, Deliso, how comfortable do you feel at your desk? Do you ever get the sense that someone who used to sit there who had an almost omnipotent presence? Does this sense ever make you feel inadequate? Mike, it's odd that you say that. It is. So when Mike is in, he just takes over my desk. Apparently, my desk, when it was an amateur, it had someone else sitting on it. Now that it's professional, it's kind of up to its game, so it works with me. But when Mike comes, he will literally bring like pictures, like family pictures and stuff, and he'll set it out, put a little rug, and he'll make that his desk, little fresh flowers and stuff. And then I'm like, well, Mike, where will I work? And he'll like open the bathroom door, and he'll be like, you work in there. That's where you belong. It's just rude. It's the way he plays Zuvadis too. Game reviews. Have you played Andromeda's Edge? No, but I've wanted to. I really, really would like to play that game. It's been on my list. All right, Josh Franken. I'm going to try to muscle through these questions. Who's a better house guest, Tom Vassal or Travis? I guess Chance. I guess. They're both good. We do different things. Tom and I usually play pinball till late at night. Travis actually helped me when my daughter locked the door to our bedroom at 1 a.m. For some reason, my house has like a key to the bedroom, and we got locked out at 1 a.m. So Travis is good at breaking into doors, apparently. But yeah, Tom wakes up really stupid early. It's like he wakes up at 3 a.m. I think. It doesn't make any sense how early he wakes up. But he doesn't wake me up, which is good. He'll just get up and turn the pinball machine on really loud. Let's see here. Wow, I'm really far behind. Talking about Midsummer, Hereditary. We go faster. All right, here we go. Can you do a magic trick for us? I did not bring a magic trick here. Let's see. Somebody talk about Autopsy of Jane Doe. People talk about D&D. Yeah, it was Sean that actually had. They were lead miniatures for D&D. Wow, how'd you survive that? Just giving lead to kids when you were little? Like, here's some lead. Did you also play with, like, I had, like, made of lead. I had some made with asbestos. Wow, your childhood. Wow, how many of you made it out of that? PK. I was not. Here we go. Josh is asking. I was not allowed to play Magic the Gathering. I was not, and that's why I've really just started playing Magic the Gathering in the past year, which is why I feel totally out of my element when Tom and Z are talking how much they like it. Now, I knew about Magic the Gathering because as a magician, when I traveled, I'd see magic stores, and of course, I'm like, this is sweet, go to magic store. So many times I was disappointed. I'd walk in, I'm like, oh, you're that kind of magic. So I saw them a lot. They were there. All right, let's see here. People talk about Tag, the movie. Okay, good. I do love Tag. Monica, how many My Little Pony games do you own? That was funny. I think Chris did that for, I forgot what top 10. He just put a My Little Pony like character on every single one of my picks. Pretty funny. I did none actually. Scythe counts, I think. I'll count Scythe. Oh, here we go. How did you get into magic? And does your church sometimes ask you to perform for an event? No, oddly enough. This is funny. I got into magic because my mom had a troupe traveling like for a church actually that she did mime and puppetry and all this stuff. So I started as a mime. Right? So, but then she realized I like to talk way too much. So I started picking up magic and doing it in between their acts so they can get stuff ready for the next one. So that's kind of how I started when I was like 10 or 11, doing magic as an MC in the middle. Really good, but when we went to different countries that did not speak English, a lot more difficult, just FYI. But yeah, so that's how I got into that. And then from there, I went on to magic in high school. College went to Nashville, Tennessee, and I did cruise ships and things like that. Worked at a place called General Jackson, which is a little boat out there. Also did shows at the Grand Ole Opry, and kind of did that as I graduated pre-med. And my parents were thrilled with the fact that I decided to do this and not go on to medical school. My sister was the one that went on to that, and her house is bigger than mine. Okay, let's see. We're live, still lagging. As far as performing for my church, no, actually, it's weird. There's a saying you can't be a prophet in your own town. I've performed at like all the other churches in our county and other places, and not ours. But mostly I don't do churches, I do corporate events. So I do cruise ships and things like that. So mainly corporate or secular magic. Oh, this is interesting. How difficult was it to stay up during the game marathon? Really difficult. Not so much last year, but because last year I stayed up late and then I got here later in the day. But this year Tom was like, hey, I want you to be there when we start, 2 a.m. to play 7th Citadel. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll do that. So I had to get to sleep early. It's hard to go to sleep early like a 7, even if you know you need to, and then get up and shower and do all that. Speaking of which, showering at the studio at 1 a.m., 1:30 is kind of creepy anyway, because the only people that were awake, maybe it was like 2, 3, I don't know, whatever it was. Only people that were awake were in here, like on stream. So I'm taking a shower and I hear this scratching on my door, like on the door of the bathroom. And I'm like, I stop the water and I hear it just kind of doing that. I'm like, this is so weird. And I don't get creeped out much. I like horror movies, but I'm not really scared. But I hear that scratching, and I'm like, so I just shower, I ignore it, and I go out, get ready, and I come out, and Rod goes, hey, did you hear me scratching like a cat at your door? I'm like, I did. Who would do that? It's the most random thing. But yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, but it was very hard. That first hour, I was just so out of it. All right, let's see here. The most recent thing you read for pleasure. Right now I'm reading Mistborn. Mistborn, because people really just rave about Brandon Sanderson, and I have not read any of his books, so this is kind of a good entry point, people say, to jump into Brandon Sanderson. What did you say? I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let's see here. Going through, inside has AC, completely agree. There we go. Have you ever been to the Magic Castle in Los Angeles? Yes. We actually performed there a couple times. On the way back from Sydney, my wife's first time over with me, usually hit LA, and we ended up having a lecture there at the Magic Castle on that evening. So we went there then too, and I like the Magic Castle. If you don't know, Magic Castle is in Hollywood, California, or LA, I guess. But it looks like a castle, and it's one of those things you have to be a magician or invited by a magician to go in. It's kind of what loosely like the Now You See Me stuff is based on. And it's interesting, when you go in, you tell them your name, and if you're actually on the list to get in, you walk up to the bookcase and you say "Open Sesame," and it opens up. And you get to go in, and there's like close-up magic over here. There's parlor magic, and there's stage magic. Difference is close-up is what's done face-to-face. Parlor is more you can do for maybe between 15 and 80, 90 people. And stage is the larger, obviously, stage props and stuff. And that night, it's really cool. Neil Patrick Harris was the president. Jason Alexander shows up there from Seinfeld, I think. But we actually met a guy named Mark Wilson, and he was one of the guys that had a book for magic, and that's how I got into magic. And getting to meet him was really cool. He was in his 90s or 80s then, and it was cool. His son was there doing magic, but that was really fun. All right, let's see here. Still remember Copperfield make the Statue of Liberty disappear? Yes, indeed. Jason's asking allergies, mother's maiden name, first pet name. He's asking all the stuff from that they're going to ask for the bank. Right, here we go. Hobbies and passions, David's asking. Figure magic, board games, 3D printing, movies, and green olives. You've pretty much covered it. That's it. That's what I like. I don't really, wow, you've really kind of summed me up, David. I feel like a really boring person now. All right, yeah, pretty much that is it. 3D printing has frustrated me lately because it's really hard. I mean, I think 10% is printing, the 90% is working on your 3D printer. It gets very frustrating. Bubbles Coin Magic, I like that. Doug Henning, I love Doug Henning. Map expansion. All right, I have not played, somebody mentioning the map expansions for Ark Nova. I have not played them. I've got them, I have not played them. That is a Tom question. Tom would never turn down a game of Ark Nova. I would never, yes, Chrissy would never play a practical joke. It is funny, before I hit live, he went into the bathroom, and I'm like, are you going to just stay in? Okay, so I just thought, not even gonna ask a question. So, here we go. Another name, hey, Dice Tower Rocks, thank you for the super chat. This is great. Oh, it's good you guys are here. It's like, oh, is somebody gonna show up, listen to me just talk about stuff? Thank you, Andrew, Joey's the best. I think you guys are the best, honestly. It's awesome being here. Have you ever, this is interesting, have you ever rage quit or concede at a game because you couldn't grasp the rules? No, I have not conceded, I have not conceded outwardly. Inwardly, yes. There have been times where I'm like, I don't get it, so I'm just going to go ahead and try, but I know right now I'm not going to win. So that That's it. All right, so here we go. Should Chris, talking about Chris being a wizard. Let's see here. All right. It's very much like a badly dubbed kung fu movie. I love badly dubbed kung fu movies. Good. I am actually doing that on purpose because I want you guys to have the Godzilla feeling. Which, speaking of which, Godzilla -1 went through the journey this morning at 7 a.m. Godzilla -1 is a great movie. It's like stupid how good it is. And I really want a copy of it. And it's not available in the U.S. because like licensing problems, right? So I found out it's available on Amazon Japan, but like not all of it has English subtitles. And I was like, do I order it? Do I not? And I thought it'd be like a longer conversation, and I kind of asked Z, should I order it? He's like, no. So kind of killed that. Killjoy. That's what Z is. What's your opinion on synchronized audio? Here you go. I don't like it. I don't like synchronized audio. Oh, let's see here. Not a big fan. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. Dana Hill. You ever had a cherry blucher at Taco Bell? This is something I used to do at Magic conventions all the time, and well, really any time I go through, I don't do it anymore. I'm an adult now, but I go through whatever Taco Bell, but like I'll like take 3 soft tacos, a bean burrito, and a cherry blucher. And they're like, what? I'm like, a cherry blucher. They're like, I don't have a cherry blucher. I'm like, what flavor bluchers do you have? They're like, we don't have any bluchers. I'm like, oh, are you not participating in the bluchers? And then you hear them go, he wants to know about the bluchers. And it's just, I don't know why. It just hit me as funny, and I started doing it. And yes, they spit on my food after that. I'm quite confident. All right. Kabuki Kid. Okay, what pinballs do you own? I only have one table at the time. It is Bride of Pinbot. It's not true. I have a digital one I'll talk about in a second. But this one is one of those Bride of Pinbot. It's like one of the classic ones. But I was doing a show for somebody, and normally my wife handles all my bookings, so she handles this. This is why I don't. So for some reason she could not. She was at an event, so I handled it. And the guy's like, hey, I can pay your fee, or I can pay part of your fee, and you can have a pinball machine from. I'm like, I will take the pinball machine, please. So I got paid in the pinball machine, and I went there to pick it up. And for you that don't know, it is ridiculous how heavy these are. These are far, far heavier than I thought they would be. So it's rough, yeah. But I have a digital pinball machine now, and it is an At Legends pinball, and it can be hacked to play like Steam Pinball FX3. You can put all those tables on it, so you use the buttons on the side. So when Tom was there, we were actually putting like all the Star Wars ones and the Marvel ones, and it's really fun. So I'm like, maybe I'll just stick to the digital. You don't get the same feeling as a big one, but you can get pretty much all the machines, because the prices of pinball machines have just gone just crazy. All right, let's see here. There we go. Here we go. From Kentucky. Yeah, so Jason, I am from Somerset, Kentucky. My family lives up there now. So I go up there every couple of years. And it's funny, when I left, I don't remember there being a board game scene. I'd like to, send me a message, because when I'm up there, I'd like to see if there is a board game scene or put something together, because I know there are gamers from Kentucky. There have to be. There are gamers, but a lot of times gamers will just, like even before we started the Big Game Bash in Fort Myers, they were gamers, but they just didn't know each other. You have your game group, and you kind of stay with those 4 or 5 people, which is good. You get that you get that feeling. But then once you start to widen that net, then you can find other people that maybe your group doesn't like this, and you can pull them in on this. And you can also discover new games that are outside of your group. And you also have to buy less games. If you don't want to back this massive Kickstarter, but someone in your group is getting it, and that's good. But no, I'm saying that to say, to be able to start something like a little bash type thing there would be great. And that's something I think a lot of more people should do, because gaming is a community, and I think that's the best thing about it. And the games, of course. All right. Yes, licking lead miniatures. Yeah, that's true. You're not supposed to do that. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Going through these. People using big words on here. I'm a simple man. I don't know what these. Oh, this is Monica. Is like, okay, here we go. What is. How far would you travel on this planet for a most epic gaming experience that you've never been to before? I would do that. That is one thing I would do, like on location stuff. Like I would play Santorini at Santorini. And if I took my wife to Santorini, she may actually play it with me. Because I love Santorini. My wife does not love Santorini. If you were only still a mime, Jacob says. Yes, that is true. I get that a lot. Yes, that is very true. Yeah, Josh mentioned, what are your thoughts on being vaulted to flame on the dice tower by saying green olives are the best taco topping and then harassed relentlessly? It was one of those things that I knew was different, but I didn't know it was as odd. And I mean, right now I had burritos last night, and there's a jar of olives here, and I did not know it was that different of a, very divisive of a choice for that. But it's pretty funny. Chris used to be a church puppeteer. I actually did puppets as well, but man, you have to hold your arm up the whole time, and it just gets exhausting, right? And on top of that, it's like you have to do puppets don't just pop up, right? They have to do stairs. So as you come up. And then the talking, right, of the puppet. So you're like this. Here you go. You don't do this. You have to do your bottom, right? I was very bad about that because when you think about it, your head doesn't move like that. So you're not doing this. So I would always do this and get yelled at. So you'd have to just move your thumb to do puppets. So it's a bit more puppet knowledge than you guys care about. But maybe I'll bring puppets here to the studio sometime. He would love it. Jason and my in-laws used to be a traveling magic and puppet show for the Nazarene Church. That's funny. My father was a Nazarene pastor. That's actually got my start in Kentucky doing that type of stuff. That's wow. It's crazy. It's like, hey, are you my brother? Do we know each other? Oh, now I do. Yes. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see here. How is it? All right. There we go. Let's see here. I see. All right. Horror movie, The Scratching. And let's see. Somebody asked, how are you with drinks and snacks at the game table? I'm fine. I'm not really that crazy about it. But I will tell you this. It's funny because I know no one from the studio is actually watching this, so I'm just going to lay it all out. We're at the Bash, and Jason Levine wanted to go to eat, and we couldn't because I wanted to stay in game. And so we're about to play Forest Shuffle. And we're all sitting there, and he's like, hey, I'm so hungry. I'm like, okay, well, go get some chips, man. He's like, go get some chips. And I'm like, okay. So he goes to get chips, and then he comes back, and he has, like, those little bags. He has, like a handful, like 20 chips, right? I'm like, did you get them for the table? He goes, no, I was really hungry. And he had, like, Doritos and Cheetos and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, come on, this is like my copy. He's like, what? I'll clean them. I'm like, were they out of wings? They have any soup or anything there? So it was fun. I was fine with it, but it was pretty fun. And then he doesn't eat one bag of chips at a time, right? He opens, like, he'll have like 5 different varieties. He'll open all the different bags of chips and then just like eat some from each one. And it's like, I'm like, dude, why don't you finish one before going to the next one? He's like, I like variety. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's doing this, and then when it's his turn, he'll just kind of clean his lip and then start doing it. And then he'll proceed to beat me by 300 points. Yeah. All right. Oh, sorry. Now we'll know. Never know his favorite book. Sorry. My favorite book, I still like Tolkien. So I think Lord of the Rings. But I think more than Tolkien, I love the Shannara series. I grew up reading the Sword of Shannara and Elfstones of Shannara, the Wish Song of Shannara. Now there's like so many Shannara series. But I went on to like name, you know, like our dog Shay and like all this stuff, and using those names Alanon from the Shannara series. I think after Tolkien, that's my go-to. The Shannara series, I love it. I know there was an MTV show about Shannara a while back, but yeah. So, and that was fine. I enjoyed seeing it come to life. But yeah, the Shannara series, I think is my favorite. But I'm just now getting more into reading more and more books. Like I just read that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Somehow I missed that. It's a pretty funny book. It's pretty clever. Here we go. All right, here we go. when are you going to create a Steven Seagal parody character on the channel? Which is funny, the Steven Seagal thing came up for that one black and red shirt, which I have not worn since. That's not true. I've worn it once, but it was laundry day. But you know what? I'm glad the Steven Seagal thing has taken over the Bruce Campbell thing. The Bruce Campbell, I was called Bruce Campbell a lot on here, which is fine. I love Bruce Campbell. I'm like, okay, I'll embrace that. Somebody actually sent me like a play mat, a game mat that says, "This is my boomstick from Evil Dead." And I'm like, that's pretty funny. So, yep, there we go. Ta-da. Have you ever met a celebrity you have totally swooned over? Huh, interesting. No, I've met several celebrities. Not really swooned over. Some I've seen, I want to go meet. I was at an Applebee's. Yeah, that's an admission, isn't it? I was at Applebee's, and there was Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. Was over there, eating with some friends or something. No idea why he was there, but I double-checked. It was him. But I guess he had some sort of concert there, whatever. But so I actually went up and did a magic trick for him, and it did not work. So there was that. It's not my fault it didn't work. Let's just say it didn't. So yeah. So also his mom invented whiteout. Didn't know that. Interesting. Because the guy I was with thought it'd be funny and hey, you're from the Monkees, right? And the other guy goes, and your mom invented whiteout. It's pretty funny. All right, let's see here. I'm sure Godzilla Minus will be here soon enough. Yes, Kabuki Kid, it will. And apparently it's not here because I guess there's some sort of way that Legendary Pictures owns Godzilla everywhere else but Japan. So right now, Legendary is pushing their Godzilla X Kong. So because of that, the studio that makes Godzilla Minus One really can't, it's not streaming anywhere, it's not for sale anywhere, it's only in Japan. So they've isolated it there, and it's probably going to be a couple months before it goes worldwide. So yeah, so eventually it will come here soon enough, and I will get an English subtitle copy, not dubbed, like apparently the stream is. All right, hey Bree, good to see you, Bree. It's fun to see people here that I know. All right, Pinball is a favorite, Loopy says. Funny, yeah, I have not played Pinball. I have played Bride of Pinball, but I have not played Pinball. Christopher Berry says, last night I watched X-Men 97 and played games. You were an adult. Yes, it is funny looking at what we do as a grown-up and wondering, did our parents do that too? Were they as childlike as we were? I don't think so. I mean, I remember my parents playing Rook and stuff with friends and laughing a lot, but I don't remember them ever watching cartoons. But to their defense, cartoons have gotten a lot better. So yeah, and I wonder, did they let go of their childhoods more than we did? Because I am not letting go of my childhood. I will watch every iteration of Thundercats that comes out now, and I will enjoy it. But I don't know if they ever went back and watched. Trying to think of it, something they watch. I don't know what they watched when they were kids. I don't know, dinosaurs? I don't know. Let's see here. It's interesting. Futurama. Well, I have not watched Futurama. That is sad. I need to watch Futurama. I really do. Let's see here. All right, going through here. Alright, let's see here. Go looking through. Ready choice for me. What is the last Kickstarter you backed? Andrew asks. This is funny. I forget every time. This happened like last night. When I can't sleep, I get on the Kickstarter app and I start to add things to my list. And then I had another friend from our game group, Jacob, he messaged me and goes, hey, so did you back whatever? And I'm like, maybe. He goes, yeah, I know. And I'm like, if you have friends, I forgot, if you have friends on Kickstarter, they can see immediately when you back something. I'm like, wow, this is like being instantly judged, you know, because I'm like, I'll back. I have a problem in backing things for $1, which, you know, I'll be like, I'll decide later. I'm going to push that decision down the road. I'm actually looking on here to see what the last Kickstarter ones I backed were. Let's see here, because I went through a little phase last night of being crazy and backing stuff. Kickstarter app is not open. Now is where Tom would tell me, get an iPhone. iPhones are so much better. You never have that problem with iPhones. All right, let's see here. I did back One Hit Heroes. That is the new one by the company that does 5 Minute Dungeon. It looks really clever. Also, Potion Crafter. It's a print and play that we've got. And also Treasures Lost, also another print and play. Yeah, and also, oh man, these funded. Okay, yeah, and actually we're actually starting a series. My wife and I are doing some print and plays. I've already filmed part of it, but we're doing like 4 print and plays you can play tonight, and should you. So we're actually gonna get those print and plays to the table. So that will be fun. Yes. Jacob here mentions that he did pay my copy of Oathsworn, as I promised we would play that together, and we have not. I definitely need to do that. Yes. Chris Yee is just not really liking my decision on tacos. But to my defense, he has not tried olives on tacos because they are incredible. Loopy, I would play Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. Very good idea. I would definitely do that. And I have not been to New Zealand, and neither has my wife, oddly enough. It's like an $80 plane ride from like Australia to New Zealand, and she hasn't done it. Who would not go to New Zealand? I mean, come on, you're right there. That's like us not going to Georgia. It's not true, but whatever. Let's see here. Hey, DJ Dan, who's saying hi. Let's see here. No, oh yeah, sorry. People from the studio are in the chat. I see Chris and Mike in there, but Mike is just here to be mean to me. Let's see here. Oh, here you go. Bree says, I enjoy your Jason impressions. Would you do impressions for the rest of the team? I will not, because I have to live with them and have to go out there afterwards. Actually, none of them are watching it, so I probably could. I could do impressions. I'm not going to do impressions. I will never be asked to do a Q&A again. I would not do impressions. Oh, man. That would be so great, though. All right, let's see here. People talking to Shannara. I look like I'm close to being caught up. This is great. All right. Kingdom. Oh, yes. Mike Heller brings up Kingdom for Sale Sold is great. Yes, this is by Terry Brooks. This is off of his Shannara series. This is called his Landover series. And it's an incredible idea where this lawyer in the real world, obviously, is a lawyer, yeah, because they don't have lawyers in like this whole Middle Ages, like Shannara thing. But anyway, so his wife dies and he's depressed, he has all this money, and someone's selling this magic kingdom for $1 million. And it says how you can go there and be the king and all this. He's like, okay, I'm going to pay this, and then just end up suing this company. But what goes into it is the fact that there actually is a portal to this magic kingdom, and you go in there, and it's got so many nice threads in this. Like the castle is alive, and when he goes there, it's all overgrown, and it really needs a king, and there's a paladin that shows up, and it's like, man, it's just, I forgot how great this is. He's really going to be focusing on the Shannara series more than the Landover series, but man, Kingdom for Sale Sold is phenomenal. All right, let's see here. Yep, Joey stacks multiple games mats on his table. So we had a Pepsi Spill, both. Yeah, here's the problem. My well is a bit too deep, so I put multiple mats on it to kind of build it up a bit, which makes it very soft, but also a big problem that when you spill something, you get it on all the mats. All of them. All right, here we go. Thank you, Josh. I think you look more like Bruce Campbell than Seagal. I will take that. I will take Bruce Campbell. He is the hardest working actor out there. He's won like multiple Oscars. That is probably not true. I have not looked it up, but without looking it up, I would say he's probably around the 0 mark. The monkeys. People know about the monkeys. The trick didn't work, or he told you to beat it. No, actually, the trick worked, but the whole thing was, it's card on ceiling, right? And where you sign a card, it goes on the ceiling. And the ceilings at Applebee's weren't exactly the ballroom type of ceilings, so ended up like moving a tile and really became an event, but very fun. I had several magic tricks that, when a magic trick does not work, I find, because it happens very rarely, honestly, but it's pretty funny. Or when things happen, like I was doing card on ceiling, for these people after we do big corporate events. Sometimes we'll do like a hospitality thing where like a lot of the people come and you do a close-up. So I'm doing this card unsealing thing. So I'm having to sign a card, and the whole thing is you sign a card, put it in the deck, you wrap it up in a rubber band, and then you throw it up, and their card is stuck on the ceiling. And Barrow's like, oh wow, it's our signed card on the ceiling. So it's yay. But at this particular time, I threw it up and I spun it so the deck landed in a bush behind me, right? So they look up, and to their idea, the way this trick works is I had a deck of cards in my hand. I threw it up, and their card is stuck on the ceiling, and the deck vanishes. And they're like, that was incredible. That was the best trick I've ever seen. Like, this is great. And they're like, oh, man. So meanwhile, my deck of cards is in the bush behind them, right? So I'm like, I got to wait for them to move so I can get my deck back. So it really worked out well, especially when they tell other magicians that I did this trick, and they're like, he's incredible. I've never seen that variation. What really bad is like the next year when you go back and they're like, hey, do that trick where the deck vanishes. And I'm like, let me do a different one. Okay, so let's see here. Swooned over meeting the Dice Tower team at Dice Tower West. Yeah, that is the fun thing about those conventions, is you get to meet everybody. I just love those. Here we go. Super chat from Zach. Thank you so much. You're doing great. Long live Douglas Adams. Yes, thank you, Zach. And this is actually, it's really fun doing a Q&A. I was a little bit nervous. I was like, what are they going to ask? It's like, okay, here we go. Yes, because Chris is so mean to me. People in the studio are so mean to me. They're not. They're really nice. It's the on-screen banter. Later, they're like, we love you. Lots of hugs. Very huggy office. It's not true. Futurama is a great series. I do need to watch Futurama. How large is your backlog of PnP games? It's bad. It's really bad. To the point where I'll back these things and forget about them. And then I'm like, I never downloaded that. And I messaged one guy. I'm like, hey, this link is expired for this print and play game. Could I get a new link to it? And he's like, dude, it was 5 years ago. I'll see if I can find it. So I'm like, don't worry about it, man. Apparently it didn't have staying power. So it's bad. It's bad. Did Tom just show up? I hope not. I don't see him anywhere. He's not going to watch this. He doesn't watch most of my stuff. He doesn't even know what I do here. I don't think he's even seen me here forever. Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis is so good. Did not know there was a Space Trilogy by C.S. Lewis. Was there a different C.S. Lewis? We talking about the same guy? Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe? It's interesting. Let's see here. Jeff says, I would watch a segment where you go through all the print and plays you bought. Good, because I am. And there's one I played the other day. Spoiler. It's a Quest Over Coffee. I backed it like, I don't know, a month or two ago. It was on crowdsurfing. And spoiler alert, I liked it. It was really good. Mitch, this is interesting. Since you're a magician, do you tend to lean towards magic users in games or avoid them? I used to get pigeonholed a lot. I used to be like, okay, he's the wizard or the sorcerer. But now I kind of try to use, I feel like I want to gravitate to those, but I try to break myself off and go something completely different. Like in our D&D we do live here, I went barbarian because I'm like, you know what, I got to go. He can cast no spells. I want to see if I can just deviate a bit and kind of go outside my comfort zone. But I do tend to lean towards magic users. DJ Dan, thank you. Want to hear from your wife on here more? She's such a sweet lady. She is going to start being here a bit more. We've just gotten through with our season down here in Florida. We've got a season. It's everywhere from like, I guess like November to Easter, and that's when all the snowbirds, we call them, come down, just invade our area in Florida, and our event schedules are just manic. And she plans events for places like the Ritz, JW, and all that, so she's really manic doing that, really good at what she does. But then now that Easter's hit and is over, she's actually has a bit more freedom to do a lot more stuff. So she will probably be on here more. And yeah, I think she's wonderful, obviously, and I think she's great on camera, and she loves the dice. She loves everyone here too. Shannara is basically Lord of the Rings, but Kingdom is great. Nah, it's true. That's pretty much everything's basically Lord of the Rings. Let's see here. Let's see here. Bubba Jotep. Okay, this is Bubba Hotep. For you that don't know, that is a movie with Bruce Campbell where JFK and Elvis did not die, and they were now at an old folks home that is now being attacked by zombies. And it is exactly what you think it would be. Yeah. Do we have any magic tricks involve olives? I like that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Do other magicians get bothered that you share so many magic tricks behind the scenes on here? I don't think so. I don't share a lot behind the scenes. Some magicians take the art a bit more seriously than I do. I take it seriously, like I don't give out secrets and stuff, but I tend to enjoy it a bit more. There's actually a couple magicians here in the chat too, I've noticed. But no, not really. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Space Trilogy by Lewis is out of the Silent Planet. Did not know that. Okay. Huh. Jason mentions, okay, apparently everyone knows about this C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy than me. Odd. All right, here we go. I know you're a big fan of Fury of Dracula. Me too. Are there any other hidden, thematic hidden movement games you could recommend? I like Mind Management a lot. I think it's shorter. I probably have the higher on Fury on my list because it hits the table easier, it's quicker, but I will say Fury is more thematic. Now, as far as theme, there's a game by Fowers called Run. It's two-player hidden movement style, but the whole thing is you are searching for someone. You've got like, I don't know, you're like a police officer and like a robber or whatever. But it's so thematic. I mean, so thematic the fact that if you go places, you get loot, you find a crowbar, now you can enter a building and come out of anywhere. So it adds another element to that hidden movement, and it's a shorter game. It's only 2 players. But if you haven't played Run, give it a try. I think you would really, really like it. All right, see here. I'll try to go through here. We're almost at time now. State bird of Florida is the snowbird. That is very true. There we go. And did you folks play Ticket to Ride Iberia? The new Ticket to Ride Iberia. I have not. It is actually on my list to play. It's actually on my stack of things to get through. I bet Chris Yee actually probably played it. He plays most Ticket to Rides ASAP. Soon as they come in. That's what ASAP stands for. As soon as they come in. What games are you looking forward to playing in Dice Tower East? Anything. I am very, very easy as far as my gameplay. Do you ever use flash paper? It is stupid fun. Flash paper is that paper that you light, throw up, and just whoosh, disappears with no ashes. I do love flash paper and flash string and flash cotton. Flash cotton burns really fast. So fast that you could hold it and it just goes whoosh, just like that. All right, there we go. And let's see here. Oh, Sean says Whitechapel. Yes, letters to Whitechapel. It's really good. So, and Jason says joy is a pure delight. Thank you so much. So, okay, so I think I have done it all. I've actually done everything except for somehow go to the chat outro, which I think I know how to do, but if not, someone's going to run in really fast from that room right there and be like, what are you doing? Why did you just hit delete on all the Dice Tower computers? I'll be like, I don't know. I just shouldn't be trusted to be here by myself. Okay, so hopefully everything's synced up, but thank you guys again so much, and we are live later today for our, I think we're doing 60 to 51. It's going to be myself, Camilla, and Chris. So we're going to give our list as we go far down there. Too short. I know, I could do this forever. This is actually really fun. Oh, I'm not as scared of Q&As anymore, because you guys are great. So, all right, hey, thank you. Now, Roy's not here either, Bree. I had to do this by myself. So, this is going to be really cool if I hit this, and I say goodbye, and then, like, boom, the outro shows up. You guys will be like, that guy's a pro. So, here we go. Let's go right over here. We're going to go, and we'll go, thank you, guys, and I'll see you guys at 1 o'clock.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower. Hey, do you want to know what's going on with Dice Tower? Do you want to know about our events, our cruises, special things that we're going to do live here in the Dice Tower, subscribe to Dice Tower Digest. Go to dicetowerdigest.com. It's a newsletter that we send out bi-weekly. We won't use your email for anything else. This is just to get you some information about the Dice Tower so you'll be up to date. Thanks for watching.